Florida Republicans will choose their nominee for governor in the August 18th primary. This presentation compares 4 of the leading candidates: Byron Donalds, Paul Renner, James Fishback, and Jay Collins. We will look beyond campaign slogans and compare their backgrounds, major policies, financial support, experience, strengths, and documented vulnerabilities. Before getting into the candidates, it is important to explain how the information is handled. Verified facts come from records such as official filings, election results, legislative histories, financial disclosures, or court orders. Reported facts come from identified news sources, but may not have been independently adjudicated. Analysis is clearly separated from fact and is not intended as an endorsement or prediction. The research cutoff is August 4th, 2026, so late campaign developments may not be reflected. Each candidate offers a distinctly different argument. Byron Donalds brings a national profile, President Trump's endorsement, and by far the largest financial organization. Jay Collins points to his current role as lieutenant governor, his military service, and his recent Florida Senate record. James Fishback presents himself as the anti-establishment businessman with the most disruptive policy platform. Paul Renner argues that his time as Florida House Speaker gives him the deepest recent experience managing state legislation and budgets. Byron Donalds has served in Congress since 2021 after 4 years in the Florida House. Before elected office, he worked in banking, insurance, and financial services. His strongest political assets are name recognition, President Trump's endorsement, national media exposure, and a campaign organization that has raised dramatically more money than the rest of the field. His policy message emphasizes lower taxes, deregulation, immigration enforcement, school choice, gun rights, and stronger public reporting from property insurers. His main questions involve limited executive branch management experience, financial disclosure scrutiny, his January 6th electoral objection vote, and pending civil allegations that had not been adjudicated by the report date. Jay Collins is the only candidate in this group currently serving in Florida's executive branch. He became lieutenant governor in August 2025 after serving nearly 3 years in the Florida Senate. His personal story is a major part of his campaign. Collins served more than 23 years in the Army, including Special Forces duty, lost a leg after combat injuries, and returned to military service. His legislative record centers on guns, veterans, transportation, agriculture, and public safety. His vulnerabilities are a relatively short statewide record, limited independent executive authority, an unsuccessful lawsuit seeking to remove Fishback from the ballot, and heavy reliance on one unusually large political committee contribution. James Fishback is the clearest outsider in the race. He has not held elected or appointed government office and bases his candidacy on business experience, online outreach, and a highly detailed populist platform. His proposals include eliminating homestead property taxes, banning new data centers, restricting private equity purchases of single-family homes, raising teacher pay, and adopting more restrictive positions on abortion and immigration. His campaign stands out because it offers sharp policy differences. The trade-off is that voters have no governing record to examine. His documented vulnerabilities also include business litigation, substantial court-ordered attorney fees, disputed professional claims, and residency records that remained politically damaging, even though a judge Paul Renner served almost 10 years in the Florida House and was Speaker from 2022 through 2024. He is also an attorney and retired Navy commander with service connected to Desert Storm and Afghanistan. Renner's strongest case is that he understands Florida's budget, legislature, agencies, and policy process better than his opponents. He offers the field's most detailed structural property insurance proposal, including premium tax reductions and changes to the Florida Hurricane Catastrophe Fund. His challenge is that experience cuts both ways. Renner must explain why affordability and insurance remain major problems after he helped lead the state government that enacted the current framework. This comparison shows that all 4 candidates campaign as conservatives, but their approaches differ substantially. On property taxes, Fishback offers the most sweeping immediate promise, while Collins and Renner place more emphasis on protecting local services. On insurance, Donalds focuses on transparency. Collins on fraud and preserving recent reforms, Fishback on drainage and recruiting insurers, and Renner on taxes and catastrophe fund financing. Fishback and Renner both want restrictions on institutional homebuyers, although Fishback goes further by proposing forced divestment. The sharpest difference involves data centers. Fishback wants a statewide ban, while the other three would permit development with varying safeguards and cost requirements. Experience is not simply a choice between qualified and unqualified. It is a choice between different kinds of experience. Donalds has the strongest federal profile and previous state legislative service. Collins has the current statewide title and a military leadership background, but less than 1 year as lieutenant governor. Fishback offers business and communications experience without a public record. Renner has the longest Florida legislative history and experience controlling a House agenda and negotiating a state budget. The practical question is which background best prepares someone to manage agencies, emergencies, personnel, and a legislature that may not always cooperate. On the major issues, the candidates often agree on direction but differ on mechanics. All support broad gun rights, parental authority in education, tougher immigration enforcement, and some form of property tax relief. The meaningful differences are in how far they would go, how they would pay for the proposals, and whether the governor could deliver them without legislative or voter approval. Fishback generally proposes the most disruptive changes. Renner provides the most detailed state policy mechanics. Donalds emphasizes regulatory accountability and economic growth. Collins frames policy around public safety, continuity, and protecting essential local services. Financially, this is not an even contest. Donalds entered the closing period with a campaign and political committee operation reportedly exceeding $100 million, along with President Trump's endorsement and an extensive national network. Renner had raised several $million, enough to operate seriously, but nowhere near Donalds' scale. Collins received a major boost through a $5 million contribution to an allied committee, though that also created unusually concentrated donor dependence. Fishback operated with the smallest financial base and had already spent much of his early fundraising. Money does not decide who would govern best, but it strongly affects advertising, turnout operations, and the ability to define opponents. Every candidate brings a credible strength and a corresponding risk. Donalds offers visibility, money, and national support, but carries financial disclosure questions and a record shaped largely by federal politics. Collins offers military credibility and a current executive title, but has limited statewide electoral testing and a short administrative record. Fishback offers the clearest outsider alternative and distinctive policies, but no government experience and significant legal and resume questions. Renner offers the most substantial Florida governing experience, but must take responsibility for policies enacted while he led the House. None of these concerns automatically disqualifies a candidate, but each deserves direct answers. Byron Donalds entered the final stretch as the overwhelming political favorite. Jay Collins argues service and current executive experience. James Fishback argues disruption and independence from the political establishment. Paul Renner argues Florida policy knowledge and proven legislative leadership. The decision is not merely who is ahead or who has the strongest advertising. It is which record, governing style, policy plan, and set of risks best match what Republican voters believe Florida needs next.